that's one of the biggies about homesteading, is the reward of being self-sufficient. Yeah, that's a pretty cauliflower. I really need to get this cabbage picked. What's that? Man, that right there. That's a beautiful cabbage. Got a lot of pretty cabbage out here. Collards for us, collards for the chickens. One of the things I love about growing greens and everything in raised beds is they're clean. I mean, there's just no dirt on them at all. More of a joy to pick them and cut them up and process them as compared to having to wash them. What I'm doing is I'm just gonna get them cut up. We're just gonna wilt these greens just enough to get them packed into pint containers, and then we're going to freeze those pint containers, and after they're good and frozen, we'll run them through the food saver to protect them from freezer burn. A pint of collard greens is a lot of collard greens, y'all. You know, and you're only feeding 2 people. You really don't need more than a pint. A pint will easily feed 2 people. Might not be any leftovers, but it's okay. You don't always have to have leftovers. I think that's a pattern that we got into. I know for me, with my mother, man, she would overcook in anticipation of people showing up to dinner. So I lied to you previously. I told you that they didn't have much sand on them, very much dirt. But I tell you what, after I was cutting them on this cutting board, I could really feel the sand. I love having this outdoor sink. If you don't already have one, do that for yourself this year. You could get a cheap sink, $20, a 2-bay sink, or you can spend as much money as you desire, but it doesn't have to be expensive. I see them on the Facebook all the time. So just go get you an inexpensive sink. This one doesn't even have have a faucet. The one out front does. But set it up right where you got water to wash your vegetables, to clean whatever it is that you're working on. This is one of the spaces we use when we're processing our chickens. And it's turned out to be invaluable. If you have a small homestead or homestead at all, and you process your own vegetables, build an outdoor sink. It'll change your life. This old camp stove belonged to my daddy. It has been around for a lot of years. Oh shoot, Daddy passed away back in 1998. So I've had it at least that long. But for cooking down greens, right here. This little table that I've got here, I built this myself. A friend of mine gave me this beautiful piece of, I'm not even sure what kind of wood it is, but he gave me this beautiful piece of wood. It was a one-off, and it might be cedar, and it was like a 1x8, 10 feet long. And I said, got just the project for that. I only had to buy the top piece and put that little folding table together just for things like this. Homesteading it's about being self-sufficient, right? And sometimes you got to build yourself a table. You should build yourself a table sometime. It's rewarding, and I think that's one of the biggies about homesteading, is the reward of being self-sufficient. Like I said earlier, I'm just trying to wilt these down. I'm not cooking the collards. I just want them to be wilted so that I can put them in the pint containers. And these look great. I'm going to turn the heat off. Daddy always said, don't just turn off the burner, but turn off the gas. But this is something I'm trying this year. I reuse these, right? These are just pint containers, service industry, restaurant supply, right? You can get them all over the place. Go to a Chinese restaurant and ask to buy a sleeve of these. And most of the Chinese restaurants are nice enough. They'll help you. So I'm gonna pack them as tight as I can in there. I mean, it's going to be a very full pint, right? As tight as I can get them. And then I will put some water in there. And there we have a pint of collard greens. Fresh, homegrown, hand-picked collard greens, right from our homestead. And we'll let that cool off well before we put it in the freezer. There, that looks pretty good. Preserving food does not have to be difficult. You just have to be committed to it. Y'all have a great day. God bless. Hey friends, this is Brian from Pruitt Homestead. We hope you've been encouraged, inspired, or even entertained by this content. If you have, do us a favor, click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your friends and your family. God bless.